Montag lieben glauben loben.
Achso, so weit.
Train is coming, train is coming, train is coming. Start queuing, love your eyes.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis.
Wait. Why Singapore, ah?
No money, go Australia.
Dim sum there much better, ma.
Guys, don't play. Why we chose Singapore is because it has well-conserved heritage buildings
And their culture places great importance on the performing arts.
and
And we can go to Australia.
yeah.
Alright, bring it back.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis.
What is a theater? Building. Outdoor area.
For
Dramatic.
presentation.
Stage.
Entertainment.
Yeah! Orchestra.
Cinema.
Public space. What do I say again?
Where people gathers.
Culture.
Arts.
Wait, bangun ni.
Alright, next up. The Art House at Old Parliament.
Alright, let's start off with the first theatre, the Art House at the Old Parliament, Singapore's oldest government building and the former home of Singapore's democratically elected parliament. It's now housing a cutting-edge arts venue, the Arts House, which opens its door in 2004. It is designed by architect George Coleman and built in 1827 as a private residence for Scottish merchant John Argyll Maxwell. This building was used instead as courthouse, the Old Courthouse, the Assembly House, and the Parliament House. Till present, the arts venue decided to retain the word house because of the historical context. Visitor will get a sense of the intimacy of a home, as each area in it is named after different parts of a house. From the very beginning in 1827, Maxwell rented it to the government on a 15-year lease. It is used as a courthouse, housing court of judicature. 1847, extension is made to accommodate the recorder, jurors, and prisoners. 1953, renovations began when Singapore was taking initial steps towards independence to restore the building for use by Legislative Assembly. 5th of June 1959, it was known as Parliament House when People's Action Party became the ruling power of a self-governing Singapore. The architectural style of the Art House at the Old Parliament is initially Neo-Palladian. As we can clearly see, the Art House has symmetry temple-like feature and the former classical of Roman architecture. Pediment is surmounted at one side of the facade to show the significance of being the main entrance. Other features are like arched windows, porticos, and parapets. Original design has lost to a series of extension and renovations. Only the arches inside the porch are all that remains of the original building.
Hi everyone, we're in Victoria Theatre.
Yep, That guy standing over there is Sir Stamford Raffles, the founder of Singapore. In the 1800s, where the population grew larger, there was a dire need of large venues for large gatherings. During the 1862, the town hall, designed by John Bennett by an engineer, was completed after 7 years of construction. This building was built during the period of Victorian revivalism, where it was occurring in Britain, and the building is first among in Singapore to reflect its style. The two-story building contained a large hall on each floor, used for staging concerts. Side rooms on each floor were used as day offices by municipal staff. Another building was built after 40 years in the memory of passing of Queen Victoria in 1901. These two buildings are then connected by a bridge from the clock tower. The clock tower features two impressive porticos stood on a rusticated base. The clock tower building is elegantly designed with grand projecting porticos, rusticated arcade, and the use of repetitive column, windows, and pediment throughout. Not forgetting the balustrade and the parapet runs the perimeter of both buildings off the roof. Another interesting piece of information, the Victoria Theatre was also once a hospital during the Japanese occupation and also was a crime squad. Now, the Victoria Theatre is a home for the Singapore Symphony Orchestra.
Alright guys, this is Stamford Art Centre!
The Stamford Art Centre is situated in the centre of art and cultural activities of Singapore. Located in Waterloo Street, the Stamford Art Centre has a short history of owners. It was first built during the 1900s by the Japanese when they were occupying Singapore as a Japanese school. During the outbreak of World War II, the Japanese left Singapore, and then from 1950s to the 1988, Gan Eng Seng School and then the Stamford Girls Primary School occupied the building. After 1988, up till now, the building is named the Stamford Art Centre, which is now used as an art facility which occupies many artistic and cultural bodies, such as the Singapore Lyric Opera, the Indian Performing Arts School, and the Practice Performing Arts School, which focuses on cultural arts such as cultural music, performing arts, and dances. When the building was built, there was no record of any architect. The Japanese built it based on the British colonial architecture. As the building built as a school, the building had many large rooms used as classrooms, which is now used as offices and practice theatres for the art and cultural bodies. The building was built simple, no excessive details on the facade, while only the visible special features of the building is the pilaster. The Stamford Art Centre is mainly constructed from concrete, making it a very durable building. For 100 years, the building has remained the same without any major renovation except for the repaint job on the walls and the windows. And the clay roof tiles were replaced by metal sheet roofs.
Well, welcome to the Singapore Repertory Theatre, the SRT.
Now introducing the Singapore Repertory Theatre. Located in the Robertson Quay district, it is the first Singapore-based professional theatre group founded in 1993. Like many of its surrounding buildings along the Singapore River, the Repertory Theatre is a restored British colonial warehouse built by merchants in the 19th century during the post-colonial period. Close proximity to the river, which hosted the bustling trade in and out of Singapore, provided the perfect context for why these warehouses were built. The Repertory Theatre exudes simplicity in construction. Its many openings, made possible by a series of brick arches, allows for the efficient circulation of goods. Upon the building's front facade, basic architectural elements can be found: the simplistic columns and capitals, the keystones which hold the arches, and the louvered wooden blinds. The architect of the building is unknown. However, it is feasible to assume that the building grew from the very needs of the merchants, much like vernacular buildings grow from the needs of society. In essence, the building boasts functionality above all. The Repertory Theatre, like its neighboring buildings, were initially built using the traditional building materials of timber walls and floors along with thatched roofs. Due to factors such as the close immediacy of buildings raised concerns of the imminent risk of fire. Therefore, a decision was made in the 1830s to replace a majority of such buildings with brick masonry and clay-tiled roofs, of which included the building that is now called the Singapore Repertory Theatre.
This is Esplanade, one of the iconic landmarks of Singapore that has received the Royal Institute of Architects RIBA Award. Led by Vikas Gore from DP Architects, construction starts at 11th August 1996. Completed in July 2002, it is one of the world's largest performing arts facility. Esplanade's design is widely influenced by modern Western style with mass usage of steel and glass. A few designs were proposed previously before this final design, but all were not as bizarre as the final ones. The concert hall and lyric theatre in Esplanade are created as building within buildings, wrapped in an external glass shell, which is further enveloped by mesh of geometrically shaped sun shading devices. The sun shading devices, or should I say durian thorns, vary in shape, form, and the extent of cover they provide. Together, the glass shell and sunshades alternate between offering spectacular view to the outside and keeping direct sunlight from coming in. Esplanade is now the main theatres in Singapore, where most of the huge events are held. It marks the start of a modern architecture of 21st century at Singapore. This shows the advancement of Singapore theatres from post-colonial design. They totally pimp the look of theatres. They're not afraid to break free and move forward, to try something new, and this rocks the art culture in Singapore.
Montag, lieben, glauben, globen. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Hi everyone, we're in Victoria Theatre.